The following reaction has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hey yo, party people in the place to be. Wait, no, he didn't do it. What's going on? It's me, man. And yo, you got the medium-sized man, you got the big man, and you got the Hulkster all here with WhatCulture Wrestling to see how he says they should have booked the NWO in 2002. We'll see how this goes, Adam at WhatCulture. I appreciate Adam's contributions to the wrestling world here. His I wonder ifs, this is how they should have. For the most part, I agree with almost everything he said. The one that I didn't necessarily agree with, I think is already up. As I'm doing this one, it might be up before this, but here we go. How WWE should have booked the NWO in 2002 starts right now.
The whole thing sort of collapsed in a damp, confusing mess. So admittedly, the WWE did a pretty spot-on impression of WCW there. Well done.
Ha!
Hello there, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com
Hi,
and
Adam.
welcome to How WWE Should Have Booked, where I look back at infamous WWE missed opportunities and say how I would book them differently because I'm a smartass. So this week we're looking at the NWO's run in the WWE in 2002 after Ric Flair was revealed as Vince McMahon's business partner and Vinnie Mac decided to cut a promo saying that he would kill the WWE by injecting it with a lethal dose of poison. That's a more subtle promo than Vince gave. And by a lethal dose of poison,
That promo was
he means
terrible.
Old dudes. These old dudes, to be precise. Yes, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, they were old. They could
debuted
still
No
kind
Way
of
Out
go,
in
though.
2002 and immediately cut a promo going, hey, we're not the bad guys. We just want to be heard and we just want to thank Vince McMahon for this opportunity. And everyone just went, oh, bollocks. Because yes, it was a much tamer version of the NWO. What happened next? Hogan went on to face The Rock in an Icon versus Icon match at WrestleMania, which was admittedly a classic, and Stone Cold Steve Austin faced Scott Hall in a match that was not. So then Hollywood Hogan turned face and had a regrettable run with the WWE Championship, and Scott Hall
I'd
and
rather
Kevin
see
Nash had
Austin
to recruit
versus
other
Nash.
members. They recruited Big Show and X-Pac because everything goes better with X-Pac. And then Kevin Nash got injured. Scott Hall had to quit because of a messy divorce he was going through. Kevin Nash came back.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash got injured. Shawn Michaels came on board. Booker T joined, and Booker T was kicked out. And the whole thing sort of collapsed in a damp, confusing mess. So admittedly, the WWE did a pretty spot-on impression of WCW there. Well done. But I can do it better.
Of course you can.
Okay, so we start
Captain
before
Coke
the
can do it
Royal
better.
Rumble in 2002. Ric Flair is the business partner, is using his money, magic, woo, powers to say, hey, I like this company, but it needs more limousines, woo. Then Vince McMahon says, hey, I built this company, and damn it, if Ric Flair thinks he's going to kill it, I'm going to kill Ric Flair. And he sets it up. His New Year's resolution is to kill Ric Flair's WWE. So they have a street fight at the Royal Rumble, which Ric Flair wins, which happened in real life. Then after the match, Vince McMahon gets on the mic, he's broken and he's bloody, and he calls out to Ric Flair, you think this is over? Yeah, think this is... I can't do an impression of Vince McMahon. You think this is over? Well, the worst is yet to come. I'm going to inject the WWE with a lethal dose of poison. Drop the mic. Then the rest of the pay-per-view happens as normal. And then we get through the Royal Rumble. Everything's going fine. Then we get to the number 30 spot, and we hear this. And out come the NWO. All three of them, and the crowd flip their biscuits because they're not expecting it. There's been no announcement or anything. These three guys return, and all three of them are at the number 30 spot because why not? Screw you! Go to hell! They get in the Royal Rumble armed with steel pipes, and they bludgeon everybody, throwing everybody out before they climb over the top ropes and jump down to the floor at exactly the same time. The NWO win the Royal Rumble. They've ruined something. Already the poison has started to take hold. gold because everyone loves the Royal Rumble. On Raw the next night, they cripple Stone Cold Steve Austin. They tear off his leg, break kayfabe, injure his leg, and leave him broken and battered. They also put Ric Flair in the hospital, all while Vince McMahon goes, ha 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 ha. This is all great. Then at No Way Out, the next pay-per-view, the NWO say they're going to reshape the WWF as they see it, and they challenge Y2J for a match for his WWE Undisputed Championship. Because all three of them run the Royal Rumble, they say, hey, it's going to be a 3-on-1, but hey, that won't fly with the heroes, and out comes The Rock and Triple H to help Y2J. So there's a big 6-man tag at the beginning of the next pay-per-view. Unfortunately, because Rock and Triple H and Y2J all want to be the champion, they can't work as a team, whereas the NWO does. They lay out Y2J, they gesture to Hulk Hogan, he makes the cover, they are the champion, and they spray paint the belts with the NWO sign. After celebrating on Raw, Steve Austin makes his return and goes after the NWO, and the match is set. Hogan versus Austin at WrestleMania X8 for the WWE Championship, which is the match that they really should have done.
Yes!
Meanwhile, lower on the card, Hall and Nash face The Undertaker and Kane for the Tag Team Championships. They win those due to shenanigans.
Okay.
Then in the main event, Hogan faces Austin. Now, what's so good about the original NWO is that they took one of the superstars who was most beloved by the fans, or at least was at some point, and turned him heel, giving him a new lease on life.
Okay.
Who do we have? I know. The Rock. The Rock comes out, he costs Stone Cold Steve Austin his title shot, he rips open his shirt to reveal NWO. There's 4 of them now, and they've each got a belt. Hall and Nash have tag team belts, Hogan has the big gold belt from WCW spray painted, and The Rock's got the WWE title spray painted. So now they're 4 men strong, The Rock is cutting promo after promo after promo, and these are awesome heel promos. We're talking circa 2003 awesome Rock heel promos.
All right.
They're fantastic. At Backlash, Undertaker steps up. Nope. At Judgment Day, Y2J gives it a shot, but he can't do it. So you need to make new stars in this feud, so you build up a brand new babyface in Booker T. You play off the fact that he was never in NWO when it was in WCW.
Alright.
He cuts a vicious promo saying, I watched you kill WCW and it's not going to happen to the WWE, shucky ducky spinneroonie, etc. Then of course, he gets beat. Vince McMahon realizes he can't control the NWO and they are starting to kill his company, and he thinks, well, I don't want this, so he begs the NWO to stop. They beat him up and torture him, and they force him to sign a match, Hogan versus Vince McMahon at King of the Ring for control of Vince McMahon's share of the company. It's a huge match, Vince versus Hogan, and of course, despite the fact that Vince, brings out every big gun he's got, the NWO debut a new member, The Big Show, and they win controlling share in the company. Yes, the NWO are in charge, and they start to grow bigger and more unwieldy and more chaotic. Now, I know the NWO getting too big was what killed it in WCW, but we've got a set time limit on this, so it's going to be fine. So the NWO grows, and they recruit new members like, yes, fine, X-Pac, and this new guy that everyone keeps talking about. What's his name? Brock Lesnar, I think? Things start to deteriorate, they start to take over whole programs, they beat up announcers, they tear down the set. Just like in WCW days, they get their own pay-per-view. And again, it's Austin versus Hogan for the WWE Championship. And every single match on the card is baby faces getting beaten up by their NWO counterparts. And so finally we get to the main event, and Hogan's beating Austin because it's a no-holds-barred match, and he's taunting the crowd. He hasn't pinned him yet, but he's taunting the crowd saying, look at your hero, blah, blah, blah. Then we hear Ric Flair is back. And he says, hey guys, do you remember my share in the company? And he's like, I am sick of the NWO. I am killing you right here, right now. And Hogan's like, have you seen Austin? Who do you guys have? And Ric Flair says, I remember, Hogan. I remember back in WCW. I remember who stood up to you. I remember who made you scared, Hogan. And out comes Sting. Yes, Sting didn't want to join WWE after his WCW contract expired, but they bring him back for this because everyone likes this storyline because it's great. Yes, Sting returns and he points the baseball bat at Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He comes down to the ring, clears the ring with his bat, drops a scorpion death drop on Hogan, and Austin covers him to get back the championship for the WWE. Then at SummerSlam, the main event is set. An 8-man tag, Ric Flair's team versus the NWO's team for controlling share over the WWE. The entire thing, the entire operating share. Ric Flair's team consists of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Y2J, Booker T, and Sting. On the NWO, Hall, Nash, Hulk Hogan, and The Rock. And then finally, the WWE wins. Stone Cold Steve Austin hits the stunner, Hollywood Hulk Hogan staggers back into a Scorpion Death Drop, bang, Sting pins him, 1, 2, 3, everyone is saved. Then, if you still want to do the Hollywood Hulk Hogan face turn, you just have him offer a handshake to Stone Cold Steve Austin, they shake hands, and, that's fine. Hollywood Hulk Hogan can do his run, whatever. This way, you can tempt Sting into the WWE with the promise of a hot angle. You can keep Austin around by playing into his ego with Austin versus Hogan. You can let The Rock go off to shoot as many movies as he likes, and you can also elevate ex-WCW stars in the WWE audience's eyes. Nobody loses. So that's how WWE should have booked the NWO. Do you disagree? Tell us about it in the comments, and also tell us what angles you would like me to book next. The next video will be an audience request video, so tell us about it in the comments. I've been Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.
He had me up until the man called Sting coming in, and the super growth of the NWO again kind of threw me a little bit. I was like, The way he describes it, they don't really need Brock Lesnar in there, especially if they have a Big Show. They already have their big bruiser. Also, you're going to have Austin versus Hogan, and Austin looks weak every time he's against Hogan. For Sting to come back, you also have to decide, you also have to try to play into Vince's ego, because Vince didn't want any WCW guys coming in and showing that they were stronger than almost any WWE/F guys, period, which is why the invasion angle was bullshit to begin with. The only guy he allowed to come in and look relatively strong was Goldberg, and that's because Goldberg made sure of that before he signed the fucking contract. And even then, after Goldberg's run with the title, what the fuck did he do? He beat a bunch of jobbers for the rest of the year and had the Brock Lesnar feud. Because all they're doing is rehashing NWO versus WCW in the late 90s with Sting coming back and saving the day for everybody. See, I think there are too many holes in this one. I like Jericho's turning face at that point because I hated Jericho's heel run when he won the belt. I'm not a fan of almost any Jericho heel run except for like one or two of them. I hated all of them. I think he changed the way he worked when he turned heel, and so his work ended up sucking, which I don't know if that was a conscious effort or not to make you boo him, but I didn't like Jericho as a heel in any of his WWE/F incarnations. And WCW was great. I liked Austin versus Hogan at Mania, which is the match that we all should have fucking had, and everybody knew that's the fucking match we should have had. But everything else is a little wonky for me. The 2002 period is such a weird period to try to rebook. And I think the other one that I disagreed with was also in 2002-ish. That's such a weird period to try to rebook because so much was in fucking flux after the invasion angle and that massive fucking failure and how WWE mishandled the entire fucking year of 2001 pretty much that was a transition year. I think the main problem with bringing in the NWO after the invasion angle was the NWO should have been brought in a year earlier. Honestly, the NWO should have been one of the top decisions Vince McMahon made after he knew he was buying WCW. The first fucking thing he should have done was he should have contacted Goldberg, the NWO, Ric Flair, and he should have said to those 5 guys, and Sting, he should have said to those 6 guys, he should have tried his damnedest to get those 6 guys in to buy off at least one of their fucking contracts, and if it was the NWO, all 3 of their fucking contracts from Time Warner, bring them in to help hotshot that shit, and then you would have had more leeway with everybody else coming in. Them coming in 2002 was a year late and a dollar short. In all fairness to everything Adam said and what the WWE ended up doing. it was a year late and $1 short. Everything. Buying Ric Flair's contract, year late and $1 short. Goldberg's 2 years late and $1 short. It was all too fucking late. They should have all come in during that invasion angle, and that would have been the big fix, honestly. So I disagree with some of what WhatCulture said, but he had me up until a certain point. Party people, tell me what you think about this. I'm going to try to do it in Scott Hall fashion, because I didn't really watch WCW, but I'm going to try to do it in Scott Hall fashion. Wait. Down there in the comment section, like, share, subscribe. Go to youtube.com/surreal469. Hit the little blue button over on the right-hand side. It says support. You click that, you'll be supporting. Guess what? That ain't bad. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Suplex City, bitch. Suplex City, bitch.